Hi everybody, it's Katie Swain, Director of Alumni Affairs again. We're here with another Roaming Rams travel talk session, and tonight we have Paul with Collette here to talk about the Spain tour we have in November. So Paul, thank you for joining us again, and take it away.
Thank you, Katie. Thanks so much. So great to be here with you all to present to this. One of my favorite tours, very close to my heart. Let's dive right in because I'm really super excited to show this tour to you. So, full disclosure, I'm the local representative for Maryland, Virginia, Washington, D.C., and a little bit of West Virginia as well. I've been with Collette, will be my third year in May, but I've been in the travel industry for a long time, and I really kind of developed a large part of my travel and hospitality career in this country, Spain. That's where my father was from, and I spent a total of 12 years living in the country of Spain, so it's very close to my heart, my favorite country. Go there quite frequently on vacation, and I had the pleasure of spending a lot of time in the Costa del Sol about 10 years ago at a big international travel conference, and then making my way up to Madrid, which I've been to many, many times, and doing a lot of hotel inspections around there, getting a lay of land for another tour company that I was working for. So this is a tour that's really close to my heart. I love this tour, and I can really share with you some great information about it, get you all psyched up to travel on this wonderful tour. It's not too long of a tour. It's nice and short, actually. 9 days. We're staying 5 nights in the Costa del Sol, 2 nights in the capital city of Madrid. We're including 11 meals in this tour, and the dates of November through the 7th through the 15th of 2026. Really a fantastic time to go. I would certainly urge any traveler to really look a little deeper into the seasons when, especially considering Southern Europe, because the weather is going to be finer than where we live for sure. A country like Spain gets over 300 days of sunlight a year, at least in the southern part, not so much in the north. But this is Costa del Sol, literally means the sun coast. So what more could you want in terms of abundant sunshine, practically year-round? I mean, again, I was at that conference I just mentioned in late October. Somewhere out there, there's a picture of me sitting on the beach, short-sleeve shirt, shorts and flip-flops and sunglasses, and just enjoying that wonderful Mediterranean sun. The water could be a little bit chilly for swimming, but you've got great beaches here, and you'd like to brave a dip, it's not going to be so cold that you turn blue or anything like that. Actually, will still be reasonably pleasant. And again, abundant sunshine, average temperatures in the 70s during the day, I would say. But you get too warm, you can step into the shade, you'll cool off quickly because it's that Mediterranean climate, not a lot of humidity. And you get some wonderful beaches here to explore. And you want that cooler weather for touring in this region. Also, once you get up to Madrid, that cooler weather is going to bring some snow-capped peaks because Madrid sits at about the same altitude as the capital city of Colorado, Denver, Colorado, known as the Mile High City, and it's surrounded, Madrid, by several mountain ranges, and many of those mountain ranges, especially in the winter, can be snow-capped. So that can make it quite nice. That contrast between the sunny Costa del Sol and then Madrid at that higher sea level, or higher altitude above sea level, can really make for a fascinating contrast. So, having said all that, let's really dive into this tour in detail. First, we'll give you the view from 30,000 feet. Whenever we're traveling overseas from the U.S., especially to Europe, it's going to be an overnight flight. So that means day one is going to be the day that you depart from the U.S. You'll be arriving into the Costa del Sol region on day 2. We're going to be flying you into Malaga Airport. Malaga is the capital city of this region, the Costa del Sol, main city. And from there, we're going to transfer you to your hotel in the nearby resort town of Fuengirola, which is located on the coast. Fuengirola really grew up from the 1960s tourism boom. It's one of the kind of a bit newer parts. Torremolinos is probably the oldest touristy part, but you've got some wonderful hotels in Fuengirola and some great beaches. and great access to a lot to see and do in this area, which is why we really picked this part of the Costa del Sol as our base of operations for the next 5 nights. And that's the great thing about this tour. You're just doing 2-pack and unpack on this tour, just once in the Costa del Sol and once again in Madrid. After our 5-night stay in Fuengirola in the Costa del Sol, touring around there a bit during those days, we will be transferred to the Malaga train station, where we're going to board our high-speed AVE train to Madrid. And that's just going to take about, I would say, roughly 2.5 to 3 hours on that train ride. And to give you a sense of the size of Spain and the distance that you're crossing, because you're going from one edge of the country right to the center. Madrid sits smack dab in the middle of the country. Spain and Portugal combined, or the Iberian Peninsula, is roughly the size of Texas. So you can kind of think of it as like you're covering half of Texas from south to north to get to Madrid in that 3 hours, right? So that's a pretty darn fast train. Really modern, clean, efficient, comfortable, high-speed trains. Spain actually has the second largest amount of railways in the world after China, which is pretty impressive when you consider the size of Spain compared to many other countries, and certainly much smaller than the country of China. So really efficient rail system. It's a great way to see this part of the country too, because you're going to be traveling through the land of Don Quixote. This is La Mancha. Between once you get out of the Costa del Sol region, cross over into La Mancha. This is Cervantes' fame. La Mancha of Don Quixote. It's a sort of a steppe region. Very pretty and picturesque part of the country, and then traveling into Madrid, going up into that sort of plateau dotted with various mountain ranges that surrounds Madrid in the heart of the country, and then staying for 2 nights in Madrid. Madrid, being the capital, of course, has the largest or second largest, maybe after Barcelona, international airport in the country, so it's a great way to fly you back home from Madrid. But of course, if you are captivated by the idea of staying with us a little bit longer in Spain, especially in a world-class city like Barcelona, my favorite city in Spain, you have the option of extending your tour with us for 3 nights in Barcelona, and we're going to be connecting those 2 cities, Madrid and Barcelona, again with a high-speed AVE train. So that gives you an opportunity to experience not 1 but 2 high-speed trains in Spain. And if you've never ridden on one of these before, they're a lot faster than the Estela going up to New York, and generally the trains in Spain are much nicer. And in Europe in general, I've met a lot of Americans who actually want to take trains in Europe because they're just a lot nicer than our Amtrak system in the United States in general, and a great way to see these countries and explore the countryside a little bit from the comfort of your train. So moving on, just to tell you a little bit more about this tour, we have various tour styles at Collette. We do small group tours, faith tours. We have these spotlight tours that stay at one location the entire time, and we offer some cruises as well. But this tour is a member of our classic product line, which is really the mainstay of Collette's product style. We have over 100 of these tours all over the world. They're really designed to be ideal for seeing the world's most iconic destinations, hitting all of the highlights at a value-minded price, and providing you with preferential skip-the-line access to major sites and attractions. As you can see on the screen, we're averaging about 37 travelers per departure with this type of tour. The maximum number of participants is just 44, and that's going to be on a 52 to 54-seater motor coach. So there's always a little bit of extra room. These are comfortable, modern, air-conditioned motor coaches. We have a rule at Collette that we won't work with any transportation company if it provides us with motor coaches that are older than 3 years. So 3 years is the absolute maximum for motor coaches at Collette, and that means those are quite modern and comfortable. And these drivers really also are wonderful when it comes to navigating these roads and keeping you comfortable and keeping you safe. And then, of course, I'll tell you about our amazing tour managers through the course of this presentation as well. And then the activity level, we rate our tours from an activity level of 1 to 4, 1 being the easiest, 4 being the most active. Just to give you a benchmark here, the vast majority of our tours in Europe are activity level 3. This is based on the fact that there's no equivalent to the Americans with Disabilities Act. We are talking about the old country here, so older infrastructure, in some cases cobblestone streets, towns built on hills. Sometimes the coach is not able to access historic city or town centers due to local regulations which are designed to preserve these ancient city cores. So there is a bit more walking involved on these European tours. But you can see sort of the expectations here on the screen. We don't have any major elevation changes on this tour. And I always like to mention that we design these activity levels with our kind of core demographic of travelers in mind, which is like 50, 55 plus. So we're not taking into account like 20-somethings who run marathons and things like that when we're coming up with these activity levels. Not really fit at this activity level for travelers who require mobility assistance devices. But for those of you who feel reasonably active, this tour should be adequate for you, good for you. And I always like to mention as well that whenever you're on tour with us, your tour manager is always going to have a plan B if you feel the need to sit out a particular activity or take a break or something like that. They're always going to have a backup plan to make sure that you're well taken care of and you can perhaps rejoin the group later. And then the time zone, Spain is 6 hours ahead of Eastern Standard Time, so you can expect a little bit of jet lag once you've arrived into this country. The currency is the euro. Spain is a member of the European Union. You really don't need to carry a lot of cash. I was actually living in Spain during COVID, and there was this real push to go cashless during COVID because it was believed that money is literally dirty and can carry germs, whereas plastic debit and credit cards do not. So, and ATMs can be widely found everywhere. I would say a little bit of pocket change for things like maybe a cup of coffee or a bottle of water or something like that. But in general, you're not going to be needing to carry lots of cash on you. Visa, MasterCard are widely accepted. American Express a little iffy. Discover is pretty much a no-go in Europe. Highest elevation encountered on this tour is 2,200 feet in Madrid. So Madrid has got that a little bit mixed up with there. It's a little lower than sea level than Denver. I guess I was thinking about the surrounding mountains. But so you don't really have much in the way of elevation change here to worry about. Electricity, you're going to need an adapter. It's the 2-prong Euro-style adapter. You can get that at on Amazon. Stores like Target, Walmart will carry it in the travel section. Not a bad idea, to pack a spare. But also a lot of hotels nowadays I found in Europe, they're equipped with those USB ports as well, so for charging your phones and so forth, pretty easy there. So then we're making our overnight flight over to Malaga, and the following morning we're going to arrive into Malaga Airport and be transferred once again to the resort town of Fuengirola, located right on the coast. Again, Costa del Sol means the sun coast, in case you didn't get that, and it's a total of 320 days of sun every year in this particular region of Spain. So this is going to be your home base for the next 5 nights, so you get a real chance to relax and take it easy. In this part of the tour, we're going to have some great activities included for you, but we're also giving you a good balance of leisure time so that you can enjoy all there is to see and do in this area. And let me tell you, as somebody who's been there is a lot of really cool stuff here. How about, for example, a fashion and automobile museum that's located in Malaga? That's really something to see. Who would think of fashion and automobiles in the same museum? But that's just one example of the great sightseeing you can have here. In terms of food, absolutely amazing. Lots of tapas, absolutely fresh seafood. I'm not sure if the Chiringuitos, I know they were when I was there in late October, they might be open there still. Chiringuitos are beach restaurants, and they serve some really wonderful seafood. It's just a glorious way to spend a midday meal, right at the seaside, right on the beach. And that's a popular thing to do for both locals and tourists as well. So much here to see and do. We never have any activities organized for the day of arrival because we're going to have travelers arriving at different parts of the day, and heaven forbid, your flight is delayed and you miss out on an included activity. So, depending on your arrival time, you can, however, spend the day exploring, acclimatizing to the time zone change, or maybe take a little siesta after lunch. My recommendation, honestly, in Southern Europe and Spain especially, lunch is the big meal of the day. It's usually a 3-hour affair, multiple courses, spent accompanied by wine, maybe a little coffee afterwards, or an after-dinner drink or something like that, after lunch drink, shall we say. Lots of people watching if you're seated outside. That's also a Spanish custom. So that's often my recommendation to travelers, what to see and do on the first day. Is if you want to live like a local, want to have a nice long lunch, enjoy some wine if that's your thing, do some people watching, and then maybe a nice little siesta. You'll arrive to your hotel likely early in the morning. We're going to store your luggage securely at the hotel because it's very likely at that time of the day that your room will not be ready. Check-in time typically in European hotels is from 3 p.m. on, so you can safely leave your luggage at the hotel and then maybe go off and enjoy a nice meal, or perhaps enjoy the common areas of your hotel while you're waiting for your room to be ready. Another great thing about Collette, and we're actually one of the few companies I think that does this, our tour managers will email our travelers about a week prior to the departure of your tour with us. This is a great opportunity to start asking them questions like, I'm a pretty active person. Since there's nothing planned, nothing planned for the arrival day, what do you recommend I do? And they will be more than happy to make suggestions for you. No matter how you choose to spend this day, in the evening you're going to join your fellow travelers for a welcome dinner, and then your adventure is really going to kick off. You're going to be your home for the next 5 nights. This is the Occidental Fuengirola Hotel. It's really just right next to the sea. Mediterranean is right at your doorstep. You're unpacking once and staying 5 nights in this hotel. It's a 4-star hotel located in a perfect spot, prime location, easy access to the vibrant seaside promenade that runs through Fuengirola and gives you access to just about every corner of the Costa del Sol. Lots of great shops, restaurants, bars, supermarkets, nightlife, all within easy walking distance of this hotel. And on all of our tours, you can always add additional nights to the beginning or the end of the tour. So if you'd like to stay, say, 6 nights with us in the Costa del Sol, maybe arrive a day early. So, if you're a person like me that I don't handle jet lag too well, despite the fact that I've been traveling since I was a little kid, if you're that type of person, booking an extra night at the beginning, giving you a chance to acclimatize to the time zone change, that could be a good idea. Certainly, you're always at liberty to do that with any of our tours. So now we're on day 3. We've had our first overnight stay in Fuengirola, and Ronda awaits us. This is an absolutely amazing town. So much history here. I always start with the fact that For Whom the Bell Tolls, the famous novel by Ernest Hemingway. Mr. Hemingway spent a lot of time in Spain in the 30s, and he wrote heavily about, just ran off my juice here, my laptop. He wrote extensively about Spain, especially during the Spanish Civil War, prior to the Civil War, and he spent a lot of time in Ronda. So this town is very famous for that reason. It's also famous for being the location of the very first bull ring ever constructed in Spain. Also well known for sitting over the Tajo River Gorge. It's got a set of different bridges, the older bridge and a newer bridge, spanning the Tajo River Gorge, and there's some Ernest Hemingway connections with that as well. So we're going to be exploring this amazing town on day 3. You can see a nice little video giving you a better idea of what this stunning town looks like. You can see the bull ring there off to the side, and the bridges over the Tahoe River Gorge. And you've got Choice on Tour in Rhonda with us. Choice on Tour is a feature that we developed at Collette. It's really exclusive to our touring style, and it's designed to give our travelers a choice of different activities to choose from that are included in the price of your tour. You're not paying extra for these. They're not optionals. You can simply choose which option you would like to take at no extra cost, based on your preference. And this is, if you're traveling with a companion and maybe you each want a break from each other, this never a bad idea when you're sharing a room with someone for several nights at a stretch. This gives you an opportunity to go off and do different things, and then you kind of get a twofer because you've each explored a different aspect of this site, and you can maybe tell each other stories about your day over dinner. So the first option is the Arab Baths, which is an archaeological site, which you'll tour with a local guide. The other option is to delve into bullfighting, which is a big fixture in especially southern Spanish culture, with an audio-guided visit to the bull ring. And then back in Fuengirola in the evening, we'll gather for dinner at a local restaurant. On day 4, you're going to get the opportunity to explore Malaga with us. This is an absolutely captivating city known as La Bella, or the Beautiful by locals. Really one of Spain's top gems. I used to find that a lot of travelers would kind of pass through Malaga on their way to Marbella and other places in the Costa del Sol, and I used to kind of think it was a shame that they didn't really dive too deeply into this town. Really an amazing place. Just a typical Andalusian seaside lifestyle, and it's the birthplace of the artist Pablo Picasso. See this this great image on the screen here gives you a wonderful idea of what Malaga, downtown Malaga, looks like. You're going to be in for a real treat with your visit to Malaga, because you're going to start by being welcomed into a local's home for a home-hosted lunch. And I can tell you, this is a pretty rare occurrence in Europe. Home-hosted meals are more common in exotic destinations. Europeans aren't the most, shall we say, welcoming to strangers. Once you become their friends, they'll invite you over to their house. But it's not like in America where you've got all these house parties and barbecues going on. Usually you meet your friends out at cafes and restaurants. So the fact that we're being welcomed into a local's home here for a home-hosted lunch is a really, really special treat. Really, this experience is more than just eating food and savoring those amazing Spanish flavors. It's about forming real connections with real locals in this destination, and that's really what having a meal in southern European countries is all about. Of course, the food is important, and half the time that's all they talk about, but it's about the connections. Families of 3, maybe even 4 generations will gather every single weekend to share a meal on a Sunday afternoon. So this gives you a real opportunity to experience this type of deep cultural connection with us. And then we're going to engage in some conversation while enjoying this food. I'm sorry, I've got to pause for a second because I'm not sure why, but my power cable is not working correctly. Okay. I think I fixed it. Sorry, everyone. Technology. So, yeah. Long winemaking tradition in Malaga, going back to the Phoenicians and ancient Greeks. So you've got a very old wine producing history here, and we, of course, accompany our included meals with wine in Southern Europe all the time because that's how Europeans roll. We're actually going to start developing that worldwide on all of our tours. Currently, we're doing it in Europe, wine or beer with our included meals. Because that's just what Europeans do. Malaga is not just for sun and sea. It's also known for its wines, particularly sweet wines. You've got a denominación de origen, which means essentially like AOC, I think the French call it, appellation contrôlée. Essentially meaning that the grapes have to come from this region. You can't mix and match. You can't blend. You actually have to mean what you say, and they go through a strict kind of vetting process. These types of wines. After lunch, we're going to return to Fuengirola, where a beautiful sunset will beckon you, and you can relax at the end of your day. Again, plenty of great restaurants, nightlife, bars, and so forth to check out in Spain. Here's another little fun fact for you that we didn't include a slide for this because I don't know how many people at Collette know this, but I certainly do. There's a bar for every 7 people in Spain. And a bar in Spain is much more than what we would call a bar in the United States. It's where you get your morning coffee. You might even get a morning pastry there. It's where you meet your friends for lunch. It's where you meet your friends for beer in the afternoon. It's where you meet your friends for tapas in the evening. So it's a real social scene. You'll see people of all ages at these establishments. Now, this is Marbella, so we're going to be visiting this on day 5. Marbella is synonymous with upscale, with Tony, with wealth. The nearby Puerto Banús contains some really impressive mega yachts. And you've got some great boutique shopping here, some high-end fashion stores as well, really quality restaurants. It's very upscale, Marbella. So we're going to take a journey here. And we'll start by enjoying a walking tour of the city of Marbella's winding cobblestone streets. Here's another fun fact for you. Sean Connery was the mayor of Marbella for a long time. Yes, the Scotsman Sean Connery somehow finagles his way into Spanish politics because he was a long-term resident of Marbella. A real haven for sun seekers, cultural enthusiasts, and jet setters alike. Really combines that Andalusian charm and upscale glamour. After that, you're going to have some free time to grab lunch on your own and explore the city's charming shops, cafes, and galleries at your own pace. Don't miss out on the Plaza de los Naranjos, or the Orange Tree Square, for a slice of local life amid citrus scents. Tapas, of course, are a must. This is a pretty basic picture of tapas, really. I wouldn't even call these tapas, more like a little snack. Tapas can be quite involved, hot and cold, many dishes for tapas. Of course, you're going to find great seafood tapas here, especially. And then another special treat that southern Spain is famous for are the churros, and these are essentially the closest thing they would have to a donut. They're like sticks, so they're not, donut shaped, but they're, dough that's kind of deep fried and then dipped in sugar, and then in turn you dip it in very thick hot chocolate. And it's absolutely delicious. A lot of people have these for breakfast, by the way, so don't feel guilty if you get a yen for that. And here we've got an option for you. We don't like to offer too many optional excursions, but of course we want to give you a good balance of free time. And for those of you who do like to stay active and really like to explore deeply, I cannot recommend enough this optional tour to Mijas. I don't like to really push and be, salesy with our optional tours. It's completely up to you. But this town really captivated me and captivated everyone who visited it with me. There's a wine museum here that's really cool to check out. If you, since we're going to give you some free time on your own, that's something you could look into. The views from this town, because it sits on sort of the foothills of the mountain ranges behind the sea, you've got absolutely stunning views of the Costa del Sol. And it's just, the image here says it all. This captivating white-walled town with the terracotta roofs, just typical Spain. It's one of the legendary white villages of Andalusia, and definitely worth a look. You'll stop here at a handicraft center and embark on a short walking tour and explore a little on your own. And, if you have time, maybe discuss with your tour manager how to go about checking out that wine museum if that's your thing. Not just wines, but olive oils as well. Some of the best olive oil in the world is produced in this region of Spain. And then your visit to Mijas is going to end with an included dinner at a local restaurant. Eating is a big thing in Spain, and you will find the salt sea air will give you a big appetite, but you'll probably actually lose weight because the food's so darn healthy and you're going to be active. Day 6, we've got a really amazing treat in store for you. We're going to travel to Granada, which is the last capital of the Moors being the North African kingdoms that dominated much of Spain for many centuries, which ended with the Reconquista, or reconquest of Spain, hence the term conquistadores that we know from their explorations in the Americas. An interesting fact here is that this city was handed over to the Catholic monarchs of Spain in the year 1492, so coterminous with Columbus sailing the ocean blue. Today here you're going to visit with us the Alhambra with a local expert, excuse me, which is one of the, I think, the most visited site in all of Europe, if I recall correctly, or at least was the last time I checked. Absolutely amazing site. And you're going to tour it with us during your visit to Granada, and after that you're going to enjoy some free time in Granada for lunch on your own. We've got a little video that can really give you a great impression of what the Alhambra complex looks like, the size of it, and so forth. Interesting fact here, you'll see some, like, I think they're oak trees surrounding large parts of the Alhambra. Those were actually planted by an Englishman, the Duke of Wellington. This is probably the crown jewels of UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Again, it's one of the most visited sites in Europe. So you've got some more images of the Alhambra complex. So there's beautiful Moorish gardens. The Alhambra, the name means the red, that's in the color red in Arabic, I believe to come from the reddish colors of the outer walls, and was built around the years 1238 to 1358, so quite old by the Nasrid emirs of one particular dynasty that ruled this part of Spain. The Moors were very well developed with sort of, shall we say, plumbing hydraulic systems, so they used that for the gardens, really modeling after them after the famous Hanging Gardens of Babylon. And then after your time in Alhambra once more, we'll enjoy some free time in Granada. You'll have time for lunch on your own as well, and some time to explore the city, the city as you please. Down with something. I have some free time ideas for you here. Your tour manager will provide you with many more. The Albaicin is Granada's old Moorish quarter, so really kind of like stepping back in time here. This is another UNESCO World Heritage Site. And you've also got stunning views of the Alhambra from a viewpoint here called the Mirador de San Nicolás. You could also explore the massive cathedral complex and the Royal Chapel here, or shop at the Alcaiceria, which is the old silk market area for a spot of shopping. This is like a bustling bazaar. As you can see in the image here, we're in Spain, but in the south of Spain, you've got a heavy North African influence here. So a bit of, shall we say, Morocco in Spain. Real fusion there of the cultures of North Africa and Europe. After that, you're going to head back to your hotel in Fuengirola, spending your last night on the Costa del Sol as you please. And then in the morning, we're going to say adios to the Costa del Sol and hop on a northbound fast train, high-speed train, the AVE, which, by the way, in Spanish means bird. That's how fast these are. And you're going to get to experience how a lot of Europeans get to travel here by high-speed rail. These trains travel at top speeds of 215-ish miles an hour, so pretty darn quick, getting you to the capital city in roughly about 3 hours. AVE actually is an acronym, and it stands for Alta Velocidad Española, or Spanish high-speed train, kind of like the TGV, Tren de Grande Vitesse, but it also means bird. So it's one of those acronyms that just, works both ways. So welcome to Madrid. This is an absolutely amazing city, second favorite of mine after Barcelona, but nonetheless, I just like the fact that Barcelona's on the coast. Got a lot of friends there, but this is a really fun city to explore. Lots of great culture, nightlife, wonderful food, amazing history throughout this world-class capital. Once you arrive into Madrid, because it's not going to take you all day to get there on the high-speed train, you're going to join a panoramic tour of the historic center. You're going to see iconic sites like the Gran Via, which is the main artery that runs through the city, the Puerta de Alcalá neighborhood, and also get a better sense of the layout of this famous capital. Then in the evening, you've got more city sights, of delicious cuisine and culture. Your evening's going to kick off with a walking tour from Puerta del Sol, which is one of the city's most famous sites, a big public square, really the People's Square. And then you're going to walk and make your way to Plaza Mayor, which is a bit more of a noble, historic square lined with these beautiful buildings in a red color, in a very sort of very traditional Spanish style of architecture, and the square being 400 years old. Then you're going to experience dinner in a local restaurant with traditional entertainment. And this dinner is really particularly special because you're going to be entertained by what is called a tuna. And no, this is not fish. A tuna is a tradition that started in the 13th century in the Iberian Peninsula. It was basically a way for university students to earn some coin to pay for their schooling fees. So a tuna is basically a group of musicians, usually university students, although I think a couple of these fellows look like they might have been in university quite a number of years ago. But the idea is that they sing folk music, much of it quite historic and dating back to this period of the 13th century, dressed in these black outfits with capes, playing historical instruments and regaling you with these folk songs. Now, of course, you won't have to pay them. That's already taken care of in the price of your tour. But the idea is, this is how they earn their school fees, and that's that tradition dating back many, many centuries. So it's really something to experience while you're enjoying a wonderful meal in Madrid. This is the Plaza Mayor I was just telling you about. Day 8, we're giving you a free day to explore Madrid's delights on your own. So much to see and do here. We've got wonderful museums, including the Prado Museum, as well as the Reina Sofia Museum, 2 wonderful art museums, really world class. There is the Royal Palace, the Royal Opera, and again, just walking around the city, checking out all these wonderful sights, enjoying a nice leisurely lunch once more. This is the Spanish lifestyle, Take it slow, have a siesta, drink some wine. Don't worry, be happy. We do, however, like to offer you here one other option, which again, on this one, I kind of say this is another one of my favorite optional excursions that we offer. This beautiful castle right here, I was just talking with one of our travelers last night, actually, and they were asking about Neuschwanstein, and I said, the castle, a lot of people think Neuschwanstein is the castle that inspired Walt Disney when designing the Disneyland and Disney World castles. It was actually this castle right here, the Alcazar of Segovia. Now, this is a royal castle, and it's located in the beautiful city of Segovia, which also boasts a very well-preserved Roman aqueduct and an amazingly beautiful cathedral. And you have the option here of exploring this captivating city with us. You get free time for lunch on your own. You'll have a walking tour of Segovia that's going to take about 3 hours over some steepish hills and some uneven pavement. So, if that's not your thing, maybe hanging out in Madrid, which is a bit flatter, a bit more modern in infrastructure, might be more your cup of tea. But if you're really the kind of person who likes to stay active and see as much as possible, this is certainly not to be missed, especially if you're a Disney fan or you just like castles. This is the Roman aqueduct. This was built nearly 2,000 years ago with 25,000 granite blocks. And the entire Segovia Old Town is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The cathedral dates back to the 16th century, was the last Gothic cathedral built in Spain, and is quite impressive itself. So here you have another shot of the Alcazar. You can really see, with those turrets, those pointed towers, the inspiration for the Disney castles. It's a real fairy tale castle. Built in the 12th century, and again, a royal castle. And then afterwards, after free time for lunch on your own in Segovia, we'll head back to Madrid. And then in the evening, however you chose to spend this day, you'll bid farewell to Spain and your fellow travelers during dinner at a local restaurant. And the next morning, we're going to transfer you to Madrid Airport for your return journey home. The tall building you see in this image here, by the way, in the foreground, that is the Royal Palace complex. And then again, that if you'd like to stay with us a little longer, we have this wonderful post-tour extension for 3 nights in Barcelona. I mean, just look at this picture. So this is the Park Güell. If you've heard of Antoni Gaudí, probably you've heard of the Sagrada Familia. That seems to be the most famous monument that folks want to visit. This is actually my favorite. It's the second most well-known site. It's a city park that Gaudí designed for his patron, and he really turned it into a fairyland. You'll find gingerbread houses here. This amazing plaza-type area here with all these mosaic-style tiles actually sits up top what is basically a modern sort of version of an ancient Greek colonnade with massive Doric columns. So it's really a great place to check out, and it gives you amazing views over the city. So really seamless extension gives you a perfect opportunity to immerse yourself in Barcelona's local cultures, the architectural wonders, and the many artistic heritages, because there are multiple. I mean, they even treat chocolate like it's an art form in Barcelona. Taking that high-speed train from Madrid, you'll start your journey with a guided walking tour once you arrive, bringing that Barcelona charm to life. You'll wander through lively streets like La Rambla, which is entirely pedestrian, probably the most well-known street in Barcelona. Travel along the Paseo de Gracia, which is the main avenue in Barcelona, where it's basically like Fifth Avenue in New York. It has the highest real estate cost in the entire country. This is where you will find the famous Gaudí apartments like Casa Milà. This is another UNESCO World Heritage Site. You'll also lose yourself in the Gothic quarters, maze of narrow streets and history. This is the historic ancient core of Barcelona with a real medieval flair to it. And then you've got some more time to explore on your own. You can check out sites like the wonderful and whimsical Park Güell, which I just talked about, the awe-inspiring Sagrada Familia, or make your way up to Montjuic Hill. There's a nice little funicular that'll take you up there. That's the old Olympic Village from the 1990s, and great views from up there as well. Lots of park areas to explore and check out. There is no shortage of things to see and do in this city. There's the main cathedral as well, quite a few other cathedrals in the old city that you can explore. There's a chocolate museum. I could just go on and on, but I better wrap this up. So, just to tell you as we move to wrap up a little bit more about Collette. By Travelers, for Travelers is our new tagline. We've kicked off our 108th year in business. That makes us the oldest tour company in North America, so we've had a lot of time to get guided travel right. One of the central pillars of what we call our premium experience, you see this on the screen here, is that we design our own tours. A lot of tour companies use sort of middlemen that are located in these destinations to work to price everything out with the local suppliers, the hotels, transportation companies, and so forth, negotiating with those other entities. And oftentimes they also design the tours, whereas we have our own product designers who live in these destinations. They live and breathe these destinations, and they put all their heart and soul in designing these tours for us, and they work directly with all of the providers, providing great value to you, our guests on tour. This also means we've perfected the pacing of our tours, so we have fewer one-night stays than any other tour company in the business in North America. And really, we endeavor to provide our guests with a highly immersive experience, not just taking you on a tourism experience, but engaging you and immersing you in the local culture so that you really get a better understanding of the destinations that you're exploring with us. You're going to be spending less time on the motor coach, more time exploring and enjoying your destination when you travel with Collette. And we've got a great way to get you to the airport too, because we've got our hometown pickup service where when you book your flights with Collette, we've got your transportation locally covered as well, so you don't have to worry about getting a cab or taxi or an Uber. That will pick you up at Shepherd University and take you to from the local airport. Your vacation's practically starting at your doorstep in most cases, and you have the opportunity to get to know some of your fellow travelers already on the way to the airport. Our travelers absolutely love this. We're the only company that offers this nationwide. And then I'll tell you a little bit more about our cancel for any reason travel protection plan in just a moment. But for now, a few more bullet points on the screen for you about what really sets us apart with this premium touring experience. Staying at 4-star and above category hotels. When we're staying in major cities and towns, those hotels are very, very centrally located, so you're just footsteps away from all the action. We've got all your transportation handled in destination, including your transfers to and from in destination, and those are not shared transfers when you arrive to, for example, Malaga Airport. You're not going to be having to wait around for other people to fly in and join you for a shared transfer. We're going to transfer you right to your hotel. We're also going to take care of your luggage throughout with our porters, so you don't have to worry about schlepping your bags on tour with us. And those tour managers, I've been kind of champing at the bit to tell you about them because they're so amazing. These are truly passionate individuals, really experts in the local culture, and they really can't wait to share with you all the information they have about these amazing destinations. They're going to be with you from start to finish, taking excellent care of you every step of the way. You're going to learn so much from them, and they also will take care of your needs in terms of, let's say you want to know where you can grab a great meal when dinner or lunch is not included on tour. They're going to know all the best spots in town. Also, for things like, let's say heaven forbid something goes wrong, you have a medical issue, something like that, they're going to be there to act as a liaison with local authorities, really help you out. I often tell our guests, think about it this way: that tour manager is a known quantity at all these hotels you're going to be staying at, whereas, unfortunately, to the hotel staff, right or wrong, you're just another guest, right? So always talk to your tour manager if you have an issue with the hotel, because they're going to go and fight for you and get you what you need, and they're going to have a lot more clout than the average guest is going to have because, they're at these hotels on a weekly basis pretty much. So they're going to take great care of you from start to finish, our tour managers. And then we like to add in an extra layer of local guides in many cases to provide you with an even deeper dive into these local cultures. As you've seen on this tour, you get a good balance of included activities and ample free time. And the great thing about getting free time when you have a tour manager is you can make the most of that free time because you always have somebody to turn to advise you, I want to visit this certain museum. Do I have time? How do I go about getting there? How do I get tickets? And so forth. They're going to have all of that information for you and more while you're on tour, so you can really make the most of that free time with us. Again, the choice on tour feature I already mentioned. those wonderful accommodations. Many times we're staying at really unique properties on tour, and the cultural immersion, the food. My grandmother taught me how to cook, my Spanish grandmother, and she went to culinary school. So I'm a huge food snob. I've been on tour with Collette quite a few times now, and I just love the meals we provide to our guests on tour. We dine in some really fascinating and fantastic restaurants, and the meals are just spectacular. And of course, when you're staying with us in Spain, you're going to get wine or beer to accompany your meal, making it even better and more authentic. And as you can see on this tour, we're not always traveling by motor coach. We like to mix it up. Sometimes we'll travel by boat. Sometimes we'll travel by high-speed train. We might travel by camel. We might travel by dog sled, tuk-tuk. Many, many ways to get around with Collette. So we like to make it fun. I already talked about the hometown pickup service. Each of you, when you travel with Collette, will receive about a week after your return from your trip with us a post-tour survey. We do ask you, please be very blunt and candid with us when responding on these surveys. We really want to know how you feel, because this is what has helped us to really grow and improve as a company over the 108 years we've been in business. We take your feedback seriously. That's what that tagline, by travelers, for travelers, mean. It means we're all travelers at Collette, and we know you're travelers as well, and you inform us about how to best design our tours. We take that feedback super seriously. So if we get complaints about a hotel, we'll change it. If somebody says, you could have done this better, we'll do better. So please fill out those surveys. Have a lot of fun with it too. I mean, who doesn't like being a critic, right? That's why TripAdvisor exists. So, and then our Passport Club, our loyalty program. So if you travel with us frequently, we've got all kinds of loyalty perks here. And then we're all about flexibility at Collette as well. So lots of ways you can personalize your adventure with us. You can add additional nights to the beginning or end, like I said earlier. And then we've got tour extensions on a lot of our tours. In this particular case, that wonderful 3-night post-tour extension to the magical city of Barcelona. Again, for dining experiences not included on tour, that's where you can really lean on your tour manager. They can really give you some great advice for any budget, and you'll find lots of Michelin-starred restaurants. I know 2 in Spain that are fantastic, built into a hotel that where all the bullfighters stay. Optional excursions, we don't like to offer too many because we want to give you an inclusive experience. We don't want to kind of give you a feeling like bait and switch. We wrote you in with a really attractive price, but then to get the most out of your experience, you've got to buy like 8 to 10 optional excursions. So we're just providing you with 2 on this tour. We actually average fewer than 3 optional excursions per departure. And then if you're interested in upgraded airfare, we're including economy class airfare on this trip. However, if you prefer to fly premium economy or business class, we can make that happen for you for sure. However, in that case, I would definitely encourage you to book with us as soon as possible, because while we've got a great fare locked in an economy class, we're not able to hold fares in those upgraded seats. So those airfares are going to continue to creep up and up in price the closer we get to the departure date. Also on that note, if you are a solo traveler and you're interested in a single room, we typically have a finite number of those single rooms on tour. So that's another case where it's really in your best interest to book with us as soon as possible so that we can make sure we can get you a single room. And then that cancel for any reason trip protection, truly the best in the business. It's the only cancel for any reason trip insurance whereby you get 100% of your money back for any reason or no reason at all. All you have to do is let us know no later than the day prior to the departure of your tour. You're going to get a full cash refund, not a voucher, but a cash refund back to your original point of purchase. And it's so easy, we jokingly call it our bad hair day policy. Once you're on tour with us, you're going to be covered just like any other trip insurance for medical assistance, emergency evacuation, baggage loss or baggage delay, trip interruption or trip delay, all with round-the-clock emergency 24/7 assistance. Then just a quick word on international travel, needing a passport. It should be valid for up to 8 months. I think it's really 6, but we like to tell that little white lie just to keep you on the safe side. But it's important to have a valid passport when visiting Spain, and I always especially like to drive home the fact that you want to make sure when you register for a tour with us that the name you enter on your registration form matches exactly your passport name to the very letter, including middle names, middle initials, and so forth. The reason I'm such a stickler about this, the TSA, they're real sticklers about this, and there have been cases of people having been denied boarding for something as simple as a one-letter discrepancy between their travel documents and their passport information. So please double and triple check that information. If you do detect a discrepancy at some point, don't sweat it. We'll be able to help you out with that, fix that with the airlines, but the airlines typically do charge airline fees, and we want you to avoid those as well. Plus the stress and, the shock of, oh my gosh, my name is Simpson without a P, and it's spelled with a P here, or what have you. Nobody likes finding that out when they're getting ready to travel somewhere. As a U.S. citizen, you are not required to obtain a visa to visit Spain, so no need to worry about that. And then here's the web link for this tour. This is included in the brochures that we provide to Shepherd University Alumni Association. I really apologize. I think I've come down with something. But this will take you to our dedicated web page where you can register for this tour. Not only register for this tour, but learn a great deal more about the tour than I've been able to tell you in this brief amount of time. You can learn more about the cancel for any reason trip insurance, those optional excursions, the extension, and on top of that, we've got a lot of useful traveler tips and tricks on this web page. So not only do we tell you what to pack, but we can also tell you how to pack it most efficiently and much, much more. It's a secure checkout process, and we accept all major credit cards. And you've got the hard numbers and facts on the screen here. I am just going to, bear with me one second. Sorry, I just wanted to clear my throat a little bit, so put myself on mute. Spain's Costa del Sol in Madrid, again, from the 7th of November to the 15th of November, 2026. The deposit on all our tours currently is $698 per person. Cancel for any reason trip insurance on this tour, $549 per person. That's a flat fee. Everybody pays the same. It's not based on your health or your age. And then we're holding space on this tour for this departure until the 8th of May of 2026. That's not 2206. That is a typo. But what you'll notice, I got it right on the second line there. So when you book with us, let's say you book with us today, you purchase our cancel for any reason trip insurance, but something between now and May 8th of 2026 comes up forcing you to have to cancel. No worries, not only will you get your deposit back, you'll also get your insurance premium back. So up until the 8th of May, you have absolutely nothing to lose if you need to back out for any reason or no reason at all. So this is a really great benefit with Collette. I mean, who ever heard of getting an insurance premium back if you don't use the insurance, right? And then the total cost on this tour with the round-trip economy class airfare included is just $36.99 per person, sharing a double room. Great price for a total of 7 nights. And once more, you can add to that the cancel for any reason trip insurance at just $549. And that wraps up this presentation. Really appreciate your interest. We look forward to you joining us on this wonderful tour. And I thank you so much for your interest in this wonderful trip and in Collette for joining us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining us again, Paul, and talking about yet again another wonderful tour that Collette offers. I mean, we love working with you guys. And just so everyone out there knows, we already have a full slate of 2027 tours scheduled, so keep an eye out. We're going to be announcing what those are very, very soon. They're already up on our website, but we will be doing the big splashy public announcement very soon, and then we'll hear more from Paul in the future about those tours. Right now, we don't have any questions in our comment section, but if you have questions, if you watch this video later after we close out the live, you can certainly contact my office, reach out to me directly, and I will get those questions answered for you. So thank you again, Paul, for joining us. I and unless you have any last minute tips or tricks for us, I think we are good to go for this evening.
I think I've talked myself hoarse, Katie, so thank you so much. It's been a real pleasure as always, and looking forward to joining you on the next round.
Perfect. Thank you guys, and have a good night.
Thanks a lot, Katie. Thanks a lot, everyone.
Yeah.
Take care and have a good night.